Saw 5, to me at least, is a decent improvement over the fourth one, which I wasn't too crazy about. With Saw 4, it really only kind of inched a little bit further into the, I don't know, overall story after Saw 3, and it did a lot of backtracking into the previous movie and to, Jigsaw's kind of origins and things like that. And I mean, obviously, you're going to expect some backtracking in Saw movies, but I felt it maybe just didn't come out of it all with the most interesting story. Here with Saw 5, I think there's a fairly interesting story or stories going on. We do have kind of a continuation of the reveal of the end of Saw 4, where we find out that the detective Hoffman, he's been in cahoots with Jigsaw, and here we actually find out just how much. And of course, he's hailed as a hero for stopping Jigsaw. Meanwhile, he's been working with him the whole time. But it actually does some more kind of interesting backtracking where another detective, Strom, he's suspicious of him after escaping a deadly trap himself, where he kind of is on his trail and kind of uncovers what the whole connection is with the Jigsaw killings and things like that. So we kind of go back into previous traps from previous movies, previous victims, and we find out just exactly how Jigsaw kind of was able to get Hoffman to work with him, and how he got the information they did. So that's kind of interesting stuff. Obviously, not enough to fill the whole movie. So there is a good kind of centerpiece story going on with another trap, which is filled with uh, five people, five supposed strangers who all have a connection in their own kind of misdoings, which is the typical Saw fashion, the tried and true Saw kind of element, uh, reminiscent in a way of Saw 2, which you have the group of people trying to survive, right? Definitely not as good, but still decent. How they all kind of uncover their own histories and how they were uh, corrupt in their own ways and uh, have their own dirty secrets, all regarding to a real estate deal that was completely corrupt and had all the different players in it. The kind of rich boy drug addict who sets a fire to a building that was supposedly abandoned but wasn't, and the real estate developer and the investigative journalist and all that stuff. So they're all connected, and they all have to work together, it would seem, to get out of it alive. And I like it when they do like the traps, not just like one person, not just like two people, but like kind of a group of people. It's fun to me that way. It's almost like this, morbid reality show that they're able to do. And there's good stuff with that. Good, traps within this larger trap. And again, I'll say it over and over. You kind of uh, value these movies based on the trap. So I thought that was good, and we do have a pretty gruesome opening trap where we kind of first learn how Detective Hoffman got into this in the first place, where he had set his own trap pretending to be Jigsaw. It's this big pendulum trap that was basically impossible to win, quote unquote win, where the victim happened to be his sister's murderer, so he was doing it for revenge, and that's where Jigsaw kind of comes in and teaches him his ways and teaches him how to make these traps and anticipate human behavior and play the game, basically. All the kind of Jigsaw philosophy kind of stuff, which it is what it is, right? So I thought it was it was pretty decent. After the fourth film, you do kind of wonder how they're gonna move forward with this. I think it was decent enough how they continued with this Hoffman character, at least in this film. Um, but the thing is, I mean, he's just not as compelling as the John Kramer character of Jigsaw. So, do you really want to follow this scumbag police officer or detective character throughout the rest of the movie? So, I think it plays well in this one, but they do kind of make certain decisions with the movies that would follow to kind of uh, move the scales a little bit on that. But here it works just fine. So it's not a bad movie. It has more of a plot than the previous film, which I like, kind of the cat and mouse thing, and inevitably, the whole kind of uh, mistaken identity, or just pulling off the trail of the real killer, and then the police thinking it's actually Strom who's the killer, because he's kind of obsessed and taking the files and harassing Jigsaw's ex-wife and all this stuff. So he kind of makes his own grave, so to speak, and that was good. And yeah, we got it's kind of like the head of the department. We have Mark Rolston from Aliens, Private Drake. He's in the movie, so I like that. So I mean, these movies kind of became this shady policeman uh, thriller kind of thing, in addition to the horror elements of the torture porn, if you want to call it that, saw trap kind of stuff. It sort of works well. You sort of wish it would kind of go in another direction, but then again, I mean, like, from the very first movie, it was always kind of involved pretty heavily in the police procedural aspect of it all. So you gotta expect that. Um, they try to keep it fresh. I think they they achieve it to a degree here. Um, Maybe they could have done a little bit more with the ending. It's just your typical kind of haha, the villain wins the day kind of ending, and it's not that amazing of a trap. It's like this, you know, room that closes in and kills Strom. Spoiler alert. Well, Hoffman lives to fight another day. He lives to fight on in Saw 6. So maybe I'll talk about that in the next review. But that's my review of Saw 5. Not bad. Not bad at all. Be sure to keep track of new reviews that I'll be doing throughout this month. It's 31 Days of Horror, doing horror movie reviews all throughout October. So be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time, and until then, stay scared.